Arsenal before the beginning of the Premier League season. Arsenal 22 minutes into the Premier League season. Yeah, that seems about right. But of course, hey everyone, it is Finn here. Welcome back to my channel, where today we'll be asking the question, are Arsenal going to have yet again another bad Premier League season? Because the Premier League season is finally underway, where Arsenal have just lost to Premier League newbies, literally 2-0 in the opening game of the brand new Premier League season. This is absolutely a new low for Arsenal to lose to a team that has never touched, never even sniffed Premier League football before, even for an Arteta Arsenal side. This is a brand new low. So in today's video, we're going to analyze what happened in that game. I'm going to be talking about what the negatives of Arsenal's play were, which, yes, there were quite a few. I'm going to be talking about how Arsenal can improve, what the positives were. But at the end of the day, I do want to talk about the fact that I'm so proud of Brentford, to be honest with you. I mean, I am proud. I'm proud like a father. I mean, it's not even my son. I'm second-hand father proud. Is that a thing? I'm not sure that's a thing. But I think that Brentford played really well in that game. In terms of their midfield intensity, in terms of their attacking intensity, the pressure they implied, in terms of their defense, in terms of Raya, their goalkeeper, pulling off amazing saves, Brentford were magnificent, and you do have to give them credit. But saying that, for Arsenal to lose to a team that has never been in the Premier League before, I do think it is kind of sad. Look, I always do believe that when a manager puts a team onto the field, that it is up to the players to perform, that you can't blame the manager for everything. But saying that, I don't believe Arteta put his best team forward. Yes, look, the likes of Aubameyang and Lacazette were sick, so they weren't able to play in that game. That's obviously two huge losses. You can't play your two main strikers. I'm not going to pretend like that's not a big thing. But going into this game, I don't think Arteta put forward his best team. I mean, in terms of the team he put forward, yes, Leno is his best goalkeeper option. Although I feel like throughout the game he did have a few communication errors. I don't feel like it was his best game. In terms of the goals he could have saved, yes, that first goal was absolutely unstoppable. I don't think he was going to save the one from Canos. Absolutely brilliant goal, but at the end of the day, Arsenal should have just left it. They should have just let it go out. I don't know why they tried so hard to keep it in play. That was absolutely a stupid mistake. That's one of my least favorite things in football, when it's just a matter of, oh, just boot the ball, but don't really look where you're booting it to. The second goal, look, that I do have to kind of question Leno to a mistake. I mean, Arsenal conceded from a throw-in pretty much. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. I think Arsenal, a top Premier League side, and I'm really pushing hard to call Arsenal a top Premier League side these days, concedes from a corner throw. I found that absolutely pathetic, to be honest with you. But saying that Leno is a good goalkeeper, we don't see that on a regular basis. Mistakes like that from him. Let's hope he improves throughout the season. In terms of the defense, I don't know what Arteta did in the right back position. Yes, I think Chambers on his day can be a good defender, whether he plays centre back or right back. But if you could have one in the chamber, I don't think Chambers is the one. I think they had the likes of Travers, the newbie at Arsenal. I think he would have been a much better starter. I think the likes of Cedric from a defensive point of view, Bellerin from an attacking point of view. I thought I thought Bellerin had some brilliant attacking and defensive moments in the right back position for Arsenal last season. I don't quite know why they went for the likes of Chambers. I feel like Arsenal, to an extent, I feel like Arteta underestimated this Brentford team. I mean, Brentford, for the last 2 seasons in the Championship, were the top scoring team in the league. That has to show you, whether it's in the Premier League or not, that they do have that attacking intensity, and I don't think Chambers was the one. In terms of their centre-back, yes, they obviously had £50 million, Ben White, which, yes, maybe the only thing white about him was his face, and I don't think that's because he saw a ghost. I think that's because he was petrified of that Brentford attack. It wasn't his best game, I will say that, not his best Premier League debut possible for Arsenal, but at the end of the day, £50 million, I'm not going to write him off even if he doesn't have a fantastic season. For £50 million for a 23-year-old, in the long run, let's say that Ben White stays at Arsenal for 10 years. If he has a good 10 years at Arsenal, even if his first season is mediocre, he could be a brilliant servant to the club that really pays off in the long run. I don't think this £50 million is just straight up going to show up in the first season. I think we're going to have to wait a while for him to really develop into his prime, but Ben White, not his most promising debut. Obviously, the likes of Mari in the other centre-back position, a bit of miscommunication between him and Leno, which at the top level, you just can't have that. We've heard this so many times in the past before, that communication in defence, when goalkeepers, midfielders and defenders don't communicate in terms of passing the ball, in terms of where the ball needs to go, it can be a huge mess and it can cost you goals, and it really did in a game like this. I don't think Mari had a fantastic game. At the end of the day though, I don't feel like Arsenal are done in terms of where they have to improve in defense. I feel like they still do need another top centre back, but in the meantime, look, Mari wasn't absolutely horrible. Left back position, Toney. I'm pretty sure Toney, the left back, touched the ball more than anyone else in that entire Arsenal team. I think he's such a brilliant young player. Obviously, his first season at Arsenal, I didn't feel like he got much game time. He's really grown into his boots now, or his kilt. I don't know what Scottish people wear on their feet. Do they wear shoes even? By the way, that's Scottish comment. Dugout Football Channel, please don't get offended if you are watching this.
Notice how in no country rich in oil do the men wear pants. We also make a fine damn whiskey. And we spell whiskey right too!
But Tierney was an absolutely fantastic left back in that game. I feel like in terms of being a modern day fullback, look, he's not in his prime, but he will get there eventually. In terms of the midfield of Arsenal, once again, the likes of Partey, there was no Partey in this midfield. Obviously, I mean, he wasn't in this game. He's still out of the squad. But just in terms of the party itself for Arsenal's midfield, it's kind of like a sad party where absolutely no one comes. It's just you and the kid you don't really talk to at school. But you do have pizza at the party, but unfortunately it's pizza that your mom took out of the freezer. It's not the best possible. I don't feel like their midfield really dominated in ways that you expected them to. Look, the likes of Granit Xhaka was brilliant in the Euros, but it's just not the same Xhaka that we see in Switzerland than we do at Arsenal. I don't know what it is about him, whether he deserves to be the captain, the leader of this Arsenal team. I don't think so. In terms of the other midfielder, it was a player by the names of Lokonga. It is a player I haven't heard too much about, a very young player, up and coming player. Saying that, once again from Arteta, I don't know if I would have gone for someone like Elneny. Instead, I think Elneny's got a lot more experience in him. We've seen a lot more from him. We know what he can bring to the table. And at the end of the day, rather be safe than sorry in terms of picking your team. Don't give too many young players, too many unexperienced players, too much game time if you just want to really dedicate or you want to guarantee a win. In terms of the attack, as I said, no Lacazette, no Aubameyang. That is going to hurt Arsenal. Hopefully they are back very, very soon. But the likes of Martinelli, when he started off as a striker, I thought he had some good options. Obviously, he drifted to the left wing side as the likes of, I think it's Balogan, I think that's how you pronounce his name. The 20-year-old English/American striker moved more to a central position. Once again, I don't know why Arteta didn't put Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka was on the bench. He came off of the bench to play. Why would you not play a player like Saka on the left wing, Martinelli on the striker position, and obviously Pepe played on the right wing? I thought he had some really good chances. Maybe he could have been a bit more clinical, but I don't think he had a bad game. I don't understand Arteta's thinking in this game. As I said, I would have definitely played the likes of Cedric Suarez or Bellerin in the right wing position. I do think Elneny, a player with more experience, should have been in the midfield. Saying that Lokonga wasn't a bad player, I thought that he moved the ball forward pretty well. And I would have played the likes of Saka, Bukayo Saka in the left wing position. I mean, he is a national hero, not even just to England, to the rest of the world. Everybody loves Saka after what happened at the Euros, which it's weird. I'm really loving what's happening to football. Sometimes it takes for players to make mistakes and huge tragedies to happen for people to really love and appreciate. It's sad that you have to have that bad moment in order to do that, but I do think Saka is a brilliant player, and I'm surprised Arsenal didn't start him. Saying that, as I said though, I thought Brentford by far were the better team. When they had the ball in attack, I was much more scared of them than I was when Arsenal had the ball. I thought that Arsenal had some clear chances, but unfortunately just missed it. And I think that goes down to inexperienced players that they put in their squad. I do think they should have put a more experienced squad forward. As I said though, I do think it will help Arsenal once they have Aubameyang and Lacazette back. Do I think that Arsenal are going to qualify for a top 6 or a European spot this season? That's going to take some thinking. I don't think straight off the bat that they look so much better over the last 2-3 years. Obviously, I mean, they've been a mid-table Arsenal side, which is shocking to say so. I mean, in a game versus Brentford, who would have thought that bees would have had more sting power than the Gunners would have had more gunpowder? I thought it was really, really a sad game from Arsenal's point of view. They weren't clinical enough in terms of shots on target, but throughout the rest of the season, I do expect Arsenal to pick up. I think if Arteta puts the right squad forward, yes, maybe they could qualify for a top 6 spot. I think that is absolutely possible. But you have to play the right squad for the occasion. You can't just put in inexperienced players and hope that they learn with the players that are currently in the squad. That's what players like David Luiz did to the squad. He was an experienced player. Obviously, he's not in the squad anymore. Obviously, the likes of Ben White, he could turn into a David Luiz, not in terms of the own goals he scores, but in terms of delivering balls forward into attacking positions. That's what David Luiz's specialty was, but you do need those experienced players in the squad, and I think that is what was Arsenal's letdown. They didn't have that experience. But you do need to play a better right back, in my opinion. I think Chambers had some good deliveries into the box, but you need to have someone a bit more accurate. I think that you do need to have more of an experienced midfield. It is a pity that they didn't have Thomas Partey in that midfield, but once he's back in the squad, I do think it will be a huge improvement. There are talks about Arsenal possibly signing the likes of Martin Odegaard from Real Madrid, which I think that would be a brilliant signing. I don't think he was bad for Arsenal last season. I also don't think that he reached his full potential. I think he could have done better in some aspects, but on the attacking front, he really lifted Arsenal to another level. Obviously, the likes of Emile Smith-Rowe in the attacking midfield position for Arsenal, I think he is a good attacking midfielder. I think he's got a bright future. I heard lots of people saying that he shouldn't have been given the number 10 position, that he wasn't quite ready for the number 10 position. Look, I'll say this, I think he is a really promising player in the future. I think in one day he could be one of the best attacking midfielders in the Premier League from what I've seen from him. But at the end of the day, I don't think he is quite ready. Yes, I would say he's starting 11 ready, but I don't think he's ready for all the pressure that everyone's giving him. At the end of the day, I just think that this Arsenal team is too much of a mess. But once its players come back from injury, once they come back from sickness and illness, once they have their proper full starting 11 at full strength, I think they'll have a much better chance in terms of qualifying for European spots. As I said, they do need a new centre-back. They do need to get Martin Odegaard in the attacking midfield position. But Arsenal, you need to pick up big time if you want to qualify for Europe. Because losing to Premier League newbies, that's just not it. But guys, this has been Finn, FYW, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'm so happy the Premier League is back. Obviously, it means content for me to make. It means content I can make for you guys to watch. But I'm just so excited that football is back. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Obviously, if you have enjoyed my analysis and you have something to say, don't forget to leave something in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss future content. Obviously, I'm busy working on a Chelsea video in terms of whether I think they could easily win the title this season, whether I think that's possible, whether they could win the treble this season, how far do I think Chelsea can go this season. So if you don't want to miss that video, make sure to hit the bell icon down below as well after hitting that subscribe button. But guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. This has been Finn, FYWN. Come on, you Gunners.